Dirk. Of course, we want to talk about the NFL, but knowing you as well as I do, I believe you coached in high school before you moved on to college, yes?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, when I was hearing you talk there, I mean, I'm the son of a high school coach. I grew up with high school football. I was a high school coach myself, so I know how important those playoffs and those state championships are. And in fact, we're still dealing with it. My son's going to play in the Florida State 3A semifinals this Friday up in Jacksonville. So I'm all about high school football.
Can you imagine being in that situation? I mean, put yourself in the shoes. Say you're a young head coach of either team. Is there a right thing to do here?
Well, I don't know all the details about this particular situation. What I do know is the memories that the players and the coaches and even the families create in high school football. They last forever. I mean, I could still remember the 1984 Highland Rams, state champions in Idaho, and my first state championship as a coach. And I can remember that game like it was yesterday.
Yeah, nothing like high school football for the coaches or the players. I think even the ones who were lucky enough to move on to college and the very few in the NFL would say football was at its most fun at the high school level, whether you're playing or you're coaching. All right, Thanksgiving Day tomorrow, Dirk. We've been talking here a lot about what's it like inside an NFL building on Thanksgiving Day. Do you get to watch any other football? Are you home at all? Is it a regular Thursday like any other week during the season?
I don't. I can only speak for my own experiences, and the way we do it here in Tampa is the way I learned it from the head coaches I worked for, Jack Del Rio, who's with the Raiders, of course, now, and Mike Smith, who I learned from in Atlanta, who's now with us on our staff here. But what we do is we do what we call a straight through day. We start a little bit earlier in the morning. We still get all of our meeting time in. And then we go out for our walkthrough. Normally, after you do your walkthrough on a Thursday, you come back in and have about an hour and a half when the players eat lunch, treatment, do media, maybe lift. Instead, we stay out on the field after walkthrough, go right into practice. That allows us to get off the practice field by somewhere around 12:30. The players got a few things they got to take care of after. And then instead of getting out of here at 5 o'clock on a Thursday, the players can probably get out of here by 2 o'clock and spend, maybe get a late lunch or an early Thanksgiving dinner and spend some time with their families. Coaches don't get out of here quite that early, but, they'll definitely be home for a Thanksgiving dinner.
All right, on to the football. Congratulations on the 2-game win streak. And coaches want to say every week is the same, Dirk. Every win is the same. But that win at Kansas City was not just your garden variety win, the best win of the year, I think, for you guys. What effect has that had inside your building this week?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, everyone's fired up. It was a big win. Kansas City's got an excellent football team. They're full of good players and very well coached. And Arrowhead is not an easy place to go and win on the road. But you really, you have a nice plane ride home. The players get a victory Monday where they don't have to come in. The coaches get right on to the next team, which for us is the Seahawks. Players' day off is Tuesday. Here we are Wednesday morning, and to be honest with you, other than just a quick review of the game, you're moving on, and you just don't have time for it. You've got to prepare for the next team, and in the NFL, they come at you fast and furious, and you go from one really good football team in the Chiefs last week to hosting the Seattle Seahawks, who are playing as good as anybody in the league right now.
Coach, about a year and a half ago, you were nice enough to allow me to spend a little time with you as you were evaluating Marcus Mariota and also Jameis Winston. And at the time, it was obvious how much you admired the intelligence and the football IQ of Jameis Winston. That was a year and a half ago. He's had about 26 starts in the NFL later with you right next to him. What do you like most about him now that you know him so much better?
Well, I still really like that. That same thing. Jameis, his football knowledge and the way he can apply what he gets in the classroom and take it onto the field is out of sight. But probably now that I've been with Jameis for a year and a half is his toughness and his competitiveness. I don't think that's something you can ever really get off tape until you've been around a guy. I mean, Jameis is an excellent competitor, and he is tough as nails. I mean, Jameis, he's taken some hits in those 26 games, and too many hits. We try to get him to take less hits than he takes. It's not always his fault, but Jameis. You ask any player on our team, and everybody admires Jameis for those two traits: toughness and competitiveness.
A year ago, you did so well working next to Jameis Winston as the offensive coordinator. Now you take on the responsibilities of being a head coach, and what a massive jump that is in responsibility every single day when you go from OC to HC. How do you divide your time between still mentoring and spending the kind of time with Jameis that you would like to, in addition to being responsible for the entire team?
Yeah, I get asked that a lot, and it really just starts with number one, having a great coaching staff and having coaches that can carry the message from the staff meetings, and you're watching tape with your coaches and you're making corrections in the game plan, and knowing fully well that the coaches are saying it to the players the way that you want it communicated. And we have that, especially at the quarterback position with Mike Pacheco, our quarterback coach. He does an awesome job with Jameis, and then. I try to pop in that quarterback room. I try to sit in on as many offensive installs as I can. And then, on the field, I don't ever drift too far from where the quarterbacks are at. I mean, the quarterbacks in the NFL, those are the guys that have the most impact on every game. Every player has impact, but they've got the most impact. And I think Jameis and I, we know we're going to tell each other the truth, whether we want to hear it or not. And Jameis does the same to me. I mean, he tells me some things I don't necessarily want to hear, but I know if Jameis tells me something, I need to listen to it. So I think just having open communication, and then sometimes that goes into late night texting if need be.
Right. How much of your ability to listen to your quarterback is something that you learned from dealing with a player like Matt Ryan? Was it difficult for you to be open to listening to a quarterback when, after all, you're the head coach?
Well, I guess you could ask my wife about how good of a listener I am. But that's one thing, as someone who's coached quarterback for 35 years or so now, I think that's the number one thing with coaching quarterbacks is, you're trying to tailor your game plan and your offense. We all have systems that we believe in, but I think you should always tailor what you're doing to the strengths of your quarterback and try to play to his strengths and protect him from his weaknesses. And nobody knows those things better than the people inside the own building. I mean, plenty of people think they know what they are, but I'm not sure they really do. And then listening to the quarterback is just huge. And from all the quarterbacks I've worked with, Byron Leftwich, David Garrard, Luke McCown, Matt Ryan, now Mike Glennon, and especially Jameis Winston now, those guys, sometimes they're going to tell you what they think you want to hear. But most of the time, if you just keep asking the right questions, they're going to tell you what they like and what they don't like. And, I learned a long time ago I could be in love with a certain play or concept, but if the quarterback doesn't like it and he doesn't have that vision of how it's going to happen, it's not going to work on Sunday.
Great insight. I love hearing stuff like that. Most important thing a coach can do is listen to his quarterback. It's working very well. 12 out of 14 on third down. Jameis was last week against Kansas City. Hey, Dirk, before we let you go, do me a favor. Tell me that you're going to spend at least 10 minutes watching games tomorrow, being a fan, and eating some good food. Just for a few minutes.
Well, I'm definitely going to eat some good food, and I'm sure we're going to have the games on. How much I pay attention, that's I don't know how much that's going to happen, but hey, we all have a lot to be thankful for. All of us, to be a player or a coach in the NFL, we got so much to be thankful for. And, with just having Veterans Day and having the Veterans Day Salute to Service weekend not too long ago, I mean, it really puts it all in perspective that we're so blessed. Look at me and you. We're talking on the radio about the sport of football, and, we're both getting paid to coach and talk about football and be involved in this great game. And it's, we just have so much to be thankful for. So it really does help put it all in perspective.
Hey, Dirk, thank you very much for the thoughts on all of the above. I don't know if you're thankful that Seattle's coming to town this weekend. We won't get into that, but thanks for your time today, and happy Thanksgiving.
Bye, Paul. Same to you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.